Okay. Hi, everybody.
Hey, everyone.
Well, hello, everybody. How's everybody doing today?
Good.
Great. Hey, Clayton, how you doing today, sir?
Hello, good evening. I'm doing pretty decently.
We missed you in El Paso.
Yeah, sorry, it's dealing with a lot of storm damage crap.
Well, hey, Dr. Ana Perez. Orlando Lara.
Hey, folks,
Mr.
we're gonna give it 2 more minutes for people to join in. If you know somebody that told you that they were going to be here, please, this is the time to let them know because we're about to get started. We start on time and we end on time.
Well, we try.
Happy Father's Day to all the fathers on here.
Yes.
And for the folks that are new here, if you don't mind on the chat telling us your name, your preferred pronouns, and preferred name, really, and then where you're calling from. If you know the ancestral land, we appreciate that because it just helps us kind of like learn a little more. And then adding so-called Lubbock, so-called, DFW. If you don't know the ancestral land, I'm about to send a link that will probably help you find out what lands stand on the area you're on right now.
Hey, Rojo, can you hear me? You're muted.
I can. Sorry, I was getting a link. And
Okay, did you get that link I just sent you by text?
I sure did.
Okay, so that's the updated script.
Perfect.
Go ahead.
And
So-
I'll start it because it's 8:06. But yeah, please go ahead.
That's right. I was gonna let's say you go ahead. Do you want me to screen share it or go ahead and just read it?
If you don't mind screen sharing, that way I can have both screens on and then I can keep a track of the chat.
Okay, thank you.
No, thank you. And Kirsten's our secretary for folks that don't know. We have our executive team joining. Perfect. It is 8:06. We are going to get started. In the future, we are going to be opening this call a little bit earlier just for folks to socialize a little bit, but also get to know us a little more and also get to know the plan that we have for the next 2 years because it's very exciting how this plan keeps on building every every month. Thank you so much for participating and sharing the chat your preferred name, preferred pronouns, and the land you're calling from or the ancestral territory that you stand on. I send a link. I hope that is helpful for some of you to find. It is a California website, so it is not as updated as I wish it was for Texas. But we do have the agenda over here for you all. In the future, we'll do, like I said, 6:45 or so, like a bit of a social time. It's also when we talk chisme. If you speak Spanish, chisme kind of refers a little bit to the gossip, but I like to call it good faith gossip. I don't think it's it's hurtful. We mostly talked about the convention and such. But yeah, with that, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Our biennial meeting for the general membership of the Indigenous Peoples Caucus comes to order at 7:07 p.m. Central Time. So good evening, everyone. It is, again, my honor and privilege to welcome you all to our meeting, especially this meeting because it is a week after really a week, 9 days to be exact, or 10 days after our caucus meeting, which was on the convention. So shout out to everyone that was able to make it to El Paso, or even shout out to those who were able to tune in and listen in to to the call and watch the recording. 1 second. All right. It is Father's Day, so my dad is responding. Happy Father's Day for all of you who are parents, but also to all of you who had to play the role of a father. I think that is very important for us to highlight too. But yeah, let me move on. So like I mentioned earlier, please add your pronouns and preferred name or preferred pronouns to the meeting chat. This meeting will be recorded because it is our general body meeting, which happens the third Sunday of every month. Be advised and consider if you are on or off camera, and make sure to address all remarks through me, the chair, and respect the speakers who, when they're talking. Debate time will be limited to for each debatable motion or agenda item, and all remarks should be confirmed to the merits of the pending question, meaning that they must be germane and within the scope of the question before the deliberative assembly. And yeah, thank you so much for the cooperation. All right, so for the proposed agenda, I'm going to go ahead and read it. And if anybody has any objections, you can go ahead and put it on the chat so I can take note of that. But for today, Sunday, June 16, 2024 at 7 p.m. Central Time, we have a call to order. Welcome, approval of proposed agenda, the approval of the minutes of the 2024 Texas Democratic Convention Caucus meeting, and then recognition of tribal citizens and indigenous people that are present here today. A discussion of the convention updates, which is really just the report back of the state convention that we had in El Paso. Then after that, we're gonna move on with discussion and action on election of officers, which Philip is gonna go ahead and help us out, which is ratifying our results for the election officers. After that, we're moving to our guest speaker. We're moving to administer the oath of office to elected officers. And we're finishing up with our guest speaker. If Orlando's present, Orlando Lara, we'll have him speak a little bit. If not, we'll make sure to share with you all some of the information that he was supposed to share today. I know that he's spending some time with his family this evening.
He is on the call, Mr. Chair.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Martin. Then I'll go ahead and Orlando, we'll give you your time right after we finish the new business, if it's okay. And we'll go over any announcements and then we'll adjourn the meeting. Sounds good for everybody? Do I hear any objections? And I'm looking at the chat.
I move that we accept the agenda for the meeting.
Second,
Thank you. I hear a notion from Martin. And who was the second?
Rogelio Alaman.
Rogelio, my tocayo with the J. Welcome in.
Hey, that's my father. Don't even, he wanted me to be different. And may he rest in peace.
I noticed. May he rest in peace and happy Father's Day to him. No, you're good. That's why I go by Rojo, so I can do J or G. Thank you so much, Kristen, to take notice of that. With that, we're moving on, folks. So let me see.
Chair, point of order.
Mhm.
There is still a motion on the floor. It hasn't been voted on yet.
Is it on the chat, Rogelio, or am I missing it? Let me see.
No, it was to accept the agenda.
You're right. Do I hear any objection from accepting the agenda for today's meeting? All those in support say aye.
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 The ayes have it. And with that, we move on with our agenda. Thank you so much, Rogelio.
You're muted, Rojo.
Thank you. I was literally saying, I was like, they say that young people are good with technology, and that's a lie. I have like 5 screens open. But thank you so much, Rogelio, for that. And yeah, with that, the ayes have it, and we'll go ahead and move on with the proposed agenda for today. And folks, if you're joining in late, don't forget we do have an option at the very end for you to make any comments. Okay. Thank you, Kristen, for the notes. And the general membership meet at the 2024 Texas the general membership met on 2024 Texas Democratic Convention Caucus, which was in El Paso. Thank you so much for all of you who showed up. I cannot stop laughing just thinking about Philip. Because it was shared with me that we need to work on our visuals. So we will make sure to have a better banner for all of y'all so that you can see the huge improvement from 2024 to 2026. I'll make sure that we have an art build maybe before the meeting next time around. And not only that, we will share this in the future, but we do hope that we meet every year. We don't want to just see you once every 2 years and then forget about it, right? I think we want to make sure that Indigenous people, Native American folks in Texas are present, are vibrant, and most importantly, are recognized. So we hope that all of y'all can join us throughout the powwows that we'll be sharing on the Facebook and Slack. But most importantly, next year, we do hope to have a convening, and we'll share more information as you know, as the year goes on. And we hope to have all of y'all present at that convening. All right. Thank you so much, Kristen, for highlighting. So the voting period for the election of the caucus officers started at the Democratic Convention caucus. We share this form for y'all to go ahead and take your vote and record it as a member. We also share the membership form before that, in case any of you was not a member. That was on June 7th and extended through June 16th at 7 p.m. Central Time. Do we have any corrections to the minutes of the 2024 Texas Democratic Convention caucus meeting of the Indigenous Peoples Caucus?
Chair, real quick, I couldn't be at the caucus meeting at the convention because I'm a veteran and I was at the Veterans Caucus. Real quick, can you go by the minutes, what happened? That way I can be caught up, please. If
Yeah,
that's fine.
absolutely. And I think Kristen's literally working on it as I am speaking. Thank you so much for dropping that, Kristen. I also saw a video. So Rogelio, we're going to be able to have the minutes, and we're also going to have a recording that you'll be able to watch for it. We did close already the election time. So if you are a registered member with us, which membership was free prior to the convention, or I guess prior to today. So we did go over that and we sent over an email. But I will say that all the candidates were unopposed. So it was mostly just for folks to be able to share with us, you know, like their preference. But yeah, we will go ahead and share the minutes. If I don't know if Kristen's working on that. If not, I can go ahead and get the links. And we are recording.
Okay, thank you, sir. And I already voted through the email.
So we had 39 people vote, and we will announce the results of that later in our agenda. But this is what we have for our minutes as of right now, since the action that we took was the only action that we took at the convention was ratifying the bylaws, as well as just starting the vote period. So when we finish our minutes tonight, it's going to include both of the minutes from the convention meeting, as well as the minutes for tonight, like a 2-day minutes, since we had a voting period. But we will send those out as soon as they're completed for any corrections. Go ahead, Martin or Rojo.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Kristen. And if you don't mind just sending the video that you made over here in the chat, if you're able to. I don't know if you already did. If not, I can look for it.
Yeah, I can look for that.
Thank you so much. That way folks can maybe watch that if they would like to watch the recording. It was a short meeting, if that's helpful. I'll do a very brief one. We wanted just to make sure to keep it to the minutes, just because we were becoming official this time around. So we wanted to just mostly get on business and take our group photo at the end. As some of y'all know, there was a previous rule on the SDC that we had to meet 3 times or 3 conventions before becoming official. And that rule changed on the last convention. However, we still went through it and we became official this time around. And I do want to highlight that this was the first time that the Texas Democratic Party had a land acknowledgement that actually has some meat to it. And I do want to uplift Dr. Ana Perez here, who helped us throughout the process and who helped us also bring, and Taylor Trevino, our vice chair, help us kind of bring in the stakeholders for having this space.
And I thank you.
No, it meant a lot, Dr. Ana Perez. You saw me in the back. Folks did not see me on the camera, but I was crying too. Because it's work, you know, it's really, sometimes people don't understand that words do mean something. And particularly the vice chair of the Democratic Party approaching us and telling us, right, that they hope that this is not just something that we do once, but rather something that we continue. And beyond that, right? Making sure that the platform, making sure that the rules, and making sure that the party stands for Indigenous people and Native American sovereignty. But I will move on, folks. I do like a hot chat, so please make sure you share your comments if you were there or watched us through YouTube on the chat. But yes, I do want to take a second to just recognize our officers, the ones that are present and the ones that are not on the call. But we do have Taylor Trevino, our vice chair. We have Kristen Henge, our secretary, Al Durante, our treasurer, Lisha Abbey, our communications director, Martin Saenz, our events coordinator, and Philip Ruiz, our political advisor on the 2024 elections, and he's the 2024 elections judge. And lastly, Steven Silva Brave, who is our community liaison, and also working on the petition that we'll be sharing with you all today. Great. All right, and thank you for adding the link, Kirsten. All right, we are moving. Go ahead.
Apologies. Did we have any corrections to our the action that was taken at the previous meeting?
I don't think we do, but I'll open to a flip. Do we have any corrections from the actions taken on the convention meeting? Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from the 2024 Texas Democratic Convention Caucus meeting?
You don't need a motion for the minutes. As long as there are no corrections or additions, they are approved as
Adopted.
they're adopted. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Ana Perez. All right, perfect. Then I guess that means we're moving on. Thank you, Kristen. All right, let me see. All right, we did make this addition to our agenda item, which we find, it's just symbolic, but at the same time important, because other caucus don't do it. But we do want to take a second to recognize the tribal members and Indigenous peoples that are present in this chat. I know that a lot of times Native American and Indigenous tribes that are not federally recognized go unnoticed. And even the ones that are federally recognized. I think I had a very long conversation with Tiffany during the convention. But if folks could take a second to maybe, I know you maybe mentioned it already, but maybe take a second to share in the chat with us the tribal recognition that you may have, the tribal group that you represent, or the federally or not federally recognized tribe that you would like to uplift. We would love to see it on the chat, just to keep showing a bit of that tapestry of who we are, right? And yes, I see the comment. Thank you so much. Yes, allies are not only welcome, they are encouraged. It takes a village, it takes a barrio to really accomplish this mission that we have. So we need allies. In fact, we call upon them, right, to show up. Thank you so much. And if you actually don't know, we will hopefully have a speaker towards the end of the year. I texted him earlier today that would help us a little bit with that, the process of how do I find out if I'm in a tribe, if it's federally recognized, and most importantly, they're gonna talk a little bit more about block quantum, the mixed history behind it, but really what it means forward, right? Especially as a group like us that is a caucus, and it's a bit progressive as well. Sorry, I heard somebody.
Yeah, I just wanted to update you on this section. Philip had suggested we added a report of the state convention and allow people a minute just to speak on their experience very briefly before we move on to so these two sections, you can kind of combine them. This is again essentially the same as our minutes. Oops, I apologize, that's annoying. This is just like our minutes copied again, so we don't need to review that, but if we wanted to give other people just a minute to digest the convention, they're welcome to speak if that's all right, Mr. Chair.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Kristen. And I think I covered that, but I want to make sure that I do cover it after they share with the period, right, for voting. But at this time, let's go ahead and then open it. Would folks like to share? Maybe if you don't mind raising your hand or going off mute. Maybe 2 or 3 folks, if they would like to share what their experience was during the convention. Rogelio, please go ahead.
Thank you, Rojo. My name is Rogelio Alaman. I am a U.S. Army veteran. I deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan both times twice, total 4 deployments. So the convention was my first time there. It was by my wife who suggested it. I enjoyed it. It was a learning experience. The only one bad thing was Saturday when they were trying to pass some rules that that were like, taken out, and the way that they were doing it. I'm a judge advocate for I like for the VFW here. So I'm a parliamentarian, and I could see what they were doing was not following the Robert's Rules of Order. Yes, we needed quorum, but I was not happy with that one. But that was just my own experience since I was the first time there at the state convention, and I had been to other conventions. So it was a learning experience, and I hope to go back in 2026.
Hello, I'm Michael Lepak, an ally of the Indigenous Caucus, and I was the head of my delegation for my county, and I concur with his opinion of the end of the convention. There was more built into it than just the Robert's Rules of Order. There were some intentional acts done, but in the end, it was a good convention. It just ended poorly, but the ending was intentional. So I'm glad you got to experience the convention, and we're better than this.
Thank you all so much for sharing. Do I have anybody else that would like to share? Oh, I see Dr. Ana Perez's hand. Please go ahead.
Well, definitely it was historical for the Indigenous Caucus to be recognized, and then, of course, for us to have the land acknowledgement. So it was like a 2-for-1, historical, and I hope that everybody is proud of that, because you all have done so much work and to get to this point. So I commend you for that. And so that's the highlight. In terms of everything else, every year there's always some turmoil or another at the Democratic State Convention. So you just have to sort of let that slide and move forward with what our goals are and what we need to get done. Thank you.
Thank you, folks, so much. I heard from 3 folks. I do see some people on mute. Would anyone else like to share? If not, I do ask you to maybe go off mute, unmute, or yeah. Anybody else?
Chair, I'd like to speak. This is Michael Fladmark.
Go ahead.
So I was caucus chair for CD5, and so this is like my 6th convention, and I'm also the county chair for Henderson County in East Texas. And yeah, we were a little disappointed, but what was exciting about the convention, which is always exciting whenever Democrats get together at this level, is the diversity of our party. And that was what was so exciting, in being able to get together with a bunch of Democrats at one time. I mean, it's just so exciting. But what happened on Saturday afternoon, the delaying tactics, it was more than parliamentarian. There were things that they did not want to have the voice of the convention, to have an opportunity to just discuss. Whether motions that are brought out like that, they're meant to be discussed. Whether they get passed or not is another thing. But the thing is that our voices were denied, and it's not the first time. The 22 convention, the same thing happened at the very end, and we lost our quorum, and then things got passed. It was really strange. And so just know that we are better than this, right? If in that regard. But overall, the convention was a great convention, and I enjoyed seeing everyone out there. And we just need to make sure that we're always positive, trying to make positive change. That's what the Democratic Party is all about: inclusiveness, embracing change for the betterment of all. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you so much, Michael. Al, I see you have mute. Would you like to share something?
And I just want to kind of add to that. We've been talking, and Dr. Perez and Michael. I mean, things do happen. I've been to conventions in multiple states. Conventions run out of time. We do need to maybe reschedule things so that when these kind of arguments come up during the convention, there's more time to have it. So maybe have all those meetings the day before, and again, that's just one man's opinion. I don't know if the delay was intentional or not. I mean, you can make a case either way. But I will say that one thing I've noticed as of late, and I was just elected to CD1 to the SDEC, so maybe I'll have some more influence in some of this stuff going forward. Kind of doubt it, but hopefully. But one thing we need to do is restore trust in the party. I don't think they're a big group of people, but there's a loud group of people who, don't have trust, like that the party's trying to pull something over on them. If that's the way you feel, then I'm not sure how, we're going to function as a party and get to our ultimate goal, which is electing Democrats. And also, I think, we need to take some responsibility also. If you looked around that room on Saturday, there weren't very many people in there at any point, not just at the end, at any point. And if you're going to, sign up to be a delegate, that's all well and good to go out and have a good time in your spare time. But, you need to fulfill your duties as a delegate. And I think we need to train people more about their expectations. But on the other hand, it was great to have the land acknowledgement and have our first meeting, and that was really a high point. And there were a lot of high points in the speakers on Saturday because they really talked personally about the issues as opposed to just your standard political speeches.
Thank you for sharing, Al. I do want to make a little comment, folks. The difference between our caucus with other caucus is we don't hold back. And the reason I say we don't hold back is because, believe me, like folks were asking me the other day, they're like, how do Native Americans feel about genocide? I turned around and I told them, if somebody knows something about genocide, it's us. So I think in this caucus particularly, we keep it 100. So I'm gonna go ahead and recognize Philip, then Rogelio, and then Cherry. Go ahead, Philip.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do want to just emphasize in my 1 minute here the importance of this caucus being organized. For the people who are joining us, I did point out that the state party had been in existence since 1846. So up to date, this is the first time the indigenous people have had a seat at the Democratic Party in the first 178 years. It's important. We've been working on this for some time. You've met all the requirements, and this is historical. The caucus is historical. The last time the state party has done this, I think they added the College Democrats about 5 years ago. But this is historical. This is the first time in 178 years that Native American indigenous people have a voice at the party level. Thank you.
Thank you, Philip. Rogelio, you want to go ahead? And then we have Cherry Bell.
Yeah, I just want to make one quick comment. So the Texas VFW State Convention was around the same time. What they do is like they always put it Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Thing is that all business is done Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Wednesday and Sundays are like travel days. So like if the Democratic State Convention did that, to say like, hey, Wednesday is a travel day, Sunday is a travel day, then all our business are done with those 3 days, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We would not, not be without quorum, because it would be like you have to stay those 3 days. That's just a suggestion that I'm throwing out there.
Thank you so much, Rogelio. Cherry, you want to go ahead? You may be off mute. You may be on mute. There you go. There you go.
I thought I'd just taken it off. So sorry. First name is pronounced Cherie, like Cherie Amour, from, I don't know, from Stevie Wonder, his song, My Cherie. Anyway, but I agree. Okay. Rogelio, what you, to reiterate what you said, to back it up, it would be nice if we could say block the time Wednesday through Sunday. If everybody had traveled on Sunday instead of Saturday evening, we could have maybe scheduled it. Now, El Paso doesn't get the convention very often. It was what, 22 years since the last one there, but other ones are closer to Central Texas. We can get to and from whatever easier and maybe stay longer for the most of us. But pretty much everybody, unless you were in West Texas, had to travel a long way to get home, whether it's flying or on a bus, and we were on the bus. I'm all for staying till it's over, till the business is done. We do have a history of county chairs and or SD. Well, it was SD then; it's now House District. But when we have caucuses, if we're still arguing or conversing, or there's still business to be done, then the we've only rented the place for so long. So I understand that it's possible. I try to think the best of everyone, so I don't know for sure that that our chair Hinojosa didn't want to vote on whether or not we're going to have ranked choice voting, which was one of the 5 items. One of the Palestinian questions was another, and I would just like, they meet before we even open ceremonies on Friday. I do not understand why, or Thursday night or whatever, they meet before then. So I do not understand why they could not have gotten these rules, the controversial rules, discussed well before. Those 5 items that they pulled from consent should not have taken all day long. Now, I do believe in the Democratic Party. So back to something Mr. Reese, I think, said is, if you don't think that, I think he said that. Anyway, if you don't believe that politics is for you, if you don't trust the Democratic Party, you don't know what's going to happen. Well, I just say that we use our individual, we can use our individual clout to say, hey, instead of the convention only being Friday, Thursday night, or Friday, Saturday, and Saturday, why don't we go ahead and open it to the, all day Thursday, or not close it until Saturday night late and use Sunday as a traveling day. I know church is important to a bunch of people, but if we added it at the front, I just don't think that it has never been closed at 3 o'clock. The state conventions are always running out of quorum, and that unfortunately is right now with the new people. They're believing that this is being a detriment to their democratic voice, and I'm sorry about that. I'm an old person, so I'm all for you. But I've been doing this. I missed one convention in the 45, almost 50 years. No, yeah, almost 50 years of being, I've only missed one convention. And as the one they did virtually, I just couldn't get to it. I have to get away to focus. But what I'm saying is, yes, if we use our individual clout, and I'm so glad that the indigenous, I'm an ally, big A ally, okay? I also have some, I wrote in the chat or in the messages, I've got Choctaw heritage, but probably not enough to join, to be recognized by the tribe. But if I can use any influence I have to help make it better for other people, I will do that. And I have to tell you, I'm a red tape queen. So if you have a problem getting something or doing something, even with the party, let me know. I'm happy to spend days, trying to follow through. So I've talked too much, but don't give up hope, people. Just don't give up hope. There's, we can get them to change the dates now that we'll have them closer to the Central Texas again soon. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, and thank you everybody else that shared. Please keep sharing on the chat because we can continue to like stay active. And even further, please share on the Slack because we want folks to join our Slack because we create a bit of more of like an avenue for progressives, particularly within Native American Indigenous folks, to have a space to share. This is my personal opinion, and I'm gonna go ahead and move on because we are hitting time, right on time. But I will say to you all, I cannot speak on the fact that it was intended, but I can tell you that it's very suspicious. And I heard the word trust by Martin, and I want to uplift that word. Trust takes time, just like progress takes time. And when somebody is showing you who they are, we need to believe them. When somebody tells you that the place is rented until 7 p.m., but they're delaying a vote until 5, 6 p.m., it really makes me question, So I mean, I'm not going to go ahead and assume anything, but in my personal opinion, that seems shady in every sense of that word. So I don't do shady. I believe that Democrats are better than that, and I heard that from somebody else here. And believe me, if Republicans wanted a Texas in Indigenous Peoples Caucus, we would have one, but they don't want it. Democrats do. So we are going through the Democratic Party, but we do advocate for all Native American Indigenous people because that's who we are. And that's what the bylaws state, and that's just who we are, So we will continue to do so. Thank you all so much for putting the time. And I will say that ultimately, we will get better every single 2 years because I believe next time is Corpus Christi. And correct me if I'm wrong, folks, but I want to see everybody in this call and beyond there. And I believe that we can do a better job, not only preparing for it, but making sure that we stay there until Sunday. Because they may not want us there, but we're going to stick around, And even better, I would love to know that in the future, maybe everybody in this call becomes a SDEC member or even farther. You help me bring folks to become SDEC members because we need representation. We need a seat on the table. And I'm just going to say it. We need to lead that table's conversation. But yes, I'm bringing it back. We now recognize Philip Ruiz. Thank you all so much for sharing. We now recognize Philip Ruiz, our political advisor and 2024 elections judge, to conclude the election and officers and present the election results for the Indigenous Peoples Caucus executive team. Take it away, Philip.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As the appointed election judge for the Indigenous Caucus, I'd like to report that the voting period ended June 16th at 7 p.m. The voting convention, the voting started at the date of the convention process at the Indigenous Caucus meeting. That's when a caucus started voting period and ends officially on June 16, 7 p.m., which already has exceeded that time frame. Each of the candidates on the list here is unopposed. All the voting members have cast their votes up to date. At this time, we have 38 votes in favor of unopposed, and there are 38 votes in favor of the unopposed nominees, and there is no opposition. I move that we accept the election results for the 2024 through 2026 slate of elected officers for the Indigenous Caucus chair offices. And before I call for a second, I'd like to at least have each of the candidates introduce themselves and say the title that they were elected to. Mr. Chairman, your name first.
Rogelio Meijueiro, Gobarrojo, and for chair of the Indigenous.
Thank you. Vice Chair, Taylor. Taylor, you still with us?
Yes, I'm here. My name is Taylor Trevino. I use your pronouns, and I am the current vice chair.
Thank you. Kristen?
Hello, my name is Kristen Hange. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm the current secretary.
Al?
My name's Al Durante, and I am the current, or just elected, I guess, treasurer.
And Alicia?
Hi, good evening. My name is Leisha Abbey, and I am the comms director.
Mr. Chairman, that concludes the introduction of the officers. I hereby move that we accept the election results for the nominees for the Indigenous Caucus. That's my.
I second that now, that motion.
Yeah, motion a second, Mr. Chair.
Any objections? All those in favor, please say aye.
Hi.
Aye.
The
Hi.
ayes have it, and with that, the motion passes. Thank you all so much. If you don't mind going off mute and helping. I'll be honest with you, all this feels great because we've been working on this 2 or 3 years.
All right, Mr. Chair, now it's my turn. Now it's time to swear you all into office.
Please go ahead.
All right. I will say the following, and as if I continue, when I stop, is when you all add your name and you all add the office that you all have been elected to. In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, I,
Rogelio Meijueiro. Do you want me to read it, Martin?
No.
all the officers have to state their name.
Got it. Rogelio Meijueiro, I'll pass it to Taylor.
Taylor, state your name.
Hello.
State your name, Taylor.
You're being sworn in right now.
Hi, sorry, I'm Taylor Trevino. I'm driving at the moment, so I apologize.
Kristen,
Kristen Hanke,
Al,
Al Durante,
Leisha,
Leisha Abbey.
do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully execute the office of
Chair of the caucus.
Taylor, we need your vice chair's statements.
Taylor.
Taylor, if you're speaking, we cannot hear you right now. You may want to connect again. Maybe let's go to Kristen until Taylor can connect. Yeah, thank you, Mia.
I went ahead and unmuted Taylor. Taylor, you're welcome to speak when you're ready. This is Kristen Hanke, and I'm swearing for the office of secretary.
Al Durante, treasurer,
Leisha Abbey, communications chair.
Taylor Trevino, vice chair.
Okay.
thought we're gonna have to look for another vice chair.
Excuse me? Of the state of Texas. I will to the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States of the state of Texas, so help me God. All right, you all have been sworn in. Congratulations to our officers for the Indigenous Peoples Caucus of the state of Texas. Let's give them all a hand, everybody.
Woo! Woo! Okay, that is very exciting.
Congratulations, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. And I will say, do not worry. For those of you who are Native American, Indigenous, and maybe do not only have one God, believe me, our platform will make sure to include that too. Because I know I had somebody comment to me and message me. They're like, I saw the thing, so help me God. I was like, we'll talk about it. Don't worry. We have a seat at the table now, so we can talk about it. Thank you, Martin. Please continue.
Well, we're done. You continue with the rest of the agenda. And then everybody, in regards to the statement, so help me God, it is in the oath of office. Sorry about that, but we do have to mention it because it is part of the oath of office.
Hey, it's just like the land acknowledgement. Believe me, they always include a prayer and they even put it on the agenda, but they never include a land acknowledgement. So in fact, we talked to the chair, we talked to the vice chair, and we told them, hey, I'm sorry, but if you include a prayer, you have to include a land and labor acknowledgement, because folks may not know this, but we are fighting for not only land, but labor acknowledgement. There's folks that work in all this, particularly those who have been previously marginalized, and want to acknowledge them. But yeah,
And in regards to that, Mr. Chair, one more thing I'd like to say. Also, another thing that we have, nobody actually mentioned it in regards to our convention meeting. We actually did have our party chair also come and give a couple statements at our meeting. So that is also a very powerful statement, because our chair hasn't really had come to our meetings. And this time he came to acknowledge us and tell us thank you, and accepting with open arms. He came and spoke to us, and I want to say thank you to Chairman Hinojosa for being there for us also. All right, Mr. Chair, sorry about that. I just want to take a little power privilege of that.
Don't be sorry, be fierce, Martin. Well, thank you so much. And I will say, with the chair, we actually went back and checked on his heritage, and he mentioned his mother was from a certain part of Mexico, and we found out she's Tarahumara. So she also falls with the indigenous bloodline. But at the same time, you know, some of y'all know this, like many folks within Latin America are also indigenous. It's just a matter of kind of like finding out where, you know, colonization. Different topic for a different conversation. But thank you, Philip. Thank you, Martin. I would like to now recognize Orlando Lara, that is present here on the call. And he also shared a link, but we'll go ahead and share it again, who's going to speak briefly about the work that they're talking about, like that they're working on, they're advocating. And if any of y'all have joined our previous meetings, you've probably met Steven Silva Brave, who is our community liaison. He's been doing a lot of great work when it comes to this Native American indigenous school curriculum, because we want to make sure that people know the truth. If there's something that this caucus is fighting for, is truth telling, not just storytelling. So you want to make sure that people know the truth. So Orlando, I'll go ahead and recognize you now if you want to go ahead.
Oh, good. Thank you. Thank you for recognizing me, Rogelio. And let me just see. Okay, thank you, Kristen, for sharing the slides. I'm on a phone, so it's a little tough to do slides. But happy Father's Day to everyone. I'm zooming in from Houston. I didn't get to do the land check, so I'm not 100% sure the ancestry here of the where I'm located. I've been driving around a lot. But yeah, I'll try to be brief, Rogelio. This can get super technical, so I'll try to go as quick as I can. And if folks have questions,
if this helps at all, you can go ahead and just give us like a brief pitch, I would even say, because we want to make sure that we make this topic particularly a bigger issue in our next meeting. We want to make sure that we promote it, and only that, but Steven has already talked to me and he shared with me that we want to even make a call to action. So I believe that July will be a time for us to actually not only, not only listen from it, but actually take action, and making sure that the new school board members in the Texas legislature know about this issue and advocate for it. So if you want to maybe give us like a pitch, we would appreciate it.
Great. How long should I talk for? Because I know you guys are about to be there. So just like 2-3 minutes.
I'll be honest, we do finish around 9 p.m. However, feel free to just go ahead and share like what you feel about it, because I think folks context.
Yes, whatever slide you'd like me to show, just let me know and I'll get to it.
Okay. I'll just dig in. And this, yeah, I can start here. And I think that this is a good place to start, because this is where this started back in 2018. The Texas State Board of Ed voted on a motion and approved a motion that basically instructed the Texas Education Agency to bring to them any 4 specific ethnic studies courses if any district developed them. And so at that time, Mexican American Studies was the course being approved, but they called for 3 more courses: African American Studies, Asian American Studies, and Native American Studies. And if you can see the slide, they specifically said bring them to us so that we can consider them for TEKS adoption. And so if you can go to the next slide, Kristen, I can explain what that means. Can you go to the next slide, Kristen? I don't know if I can control it. But yeah, the next, there you go. Oh no, one before. So slide 2, that one. So this is where things get a little bit technical. And what the current chair, who was appointed by Abbott in December, what he's saying is, well, this course is already an innovative course. So the course is already available to all Texas students. And that's just not true. What that motion called for is whenever the PEA approves an innovative course, which ultimately gets approved by Mike Morath, bring it to us so we can consider it for the TEKS. And so what Kinsey is doing is kind of stopping the process in the middle and not allowing the course to be considered for full TEKS adoption. And what that means is that first, the State Board of Ed would approve it. So it would have the State Board of Ed's stamp of approval. But the other piece, and we don't like to advertise this because we know some people who don't like, truth in schools probably wouldn't like this. But my understanding is that once it gets approved by the state as a TEKS course, then local districts don't have to, you don't have to go to your district to approve the course. If you're a student, a native student, you want your high school to offer it, you just have to go to your principal and the principal can teach it. Right now, as an innovative course, a student or a parent or a teacher has to get approval at the district first. So that's, a huge hurdle for people. And then the other category is special topics. And that's even before a course becomes an innovative course. That's just a catch-all course that anyone could teach whatever. And whenever these courses are piloted, they're piloted as special topics. So American Indian Native Studies was piloted as a special topics course for 2 years. And this last year, it was taught as an innovative course. So it's been piloted for 3 years, which is a significant amount of time. Can you go to the next slide, Kristen, slide 3? Oh, no, not slide 3, slide 4. And so one thing that we've noticed, and if we can get to the little graphs, you'll see, is that when we pulled the data, we saw that, for example, African American Studies, 71 students were enrolled in African American Studies in the year that it was innovative. But once it became a TEKS approved course, it jumped up to something like 2,000 students enrolled throughout Texas. And now just 3 years later, there's 10,000 students taking African American Studies. So yeah, slide 4. And you can see the graph. And Mexican American Studies also went something like from 900 to now 4 years later, 10,000 students taking that as well. And so it's like a huge jump. And that's what Kinsey is preventing from happening for American Indian Native Studies. If we can move along the slides there. Yeah, it's slide 4, you can see the graph. There. So if you can see African American Studies in the green, the light green was the year that it was innovative, that's 71 students. And then the next year, no, the light green is when, it was innovative. Then the next year it became a TEKS approved course. And you see it jumped up to 2,000 and then it just kept growing. So now it's almost at 10,000. And Moss also, when it was an innovative course, it was at 900. It took it a little while for it to start growing, but a couple years later, it's 4,000 and now it's also 11,000. So these are the two of the most popular social studies electives. And I think together they make up 25% of the social studies elective courses that students are taking. So what we say is these are popular courses, students want them.
Even with the teachers.
There's no reason to hold them back.
Orlando?
And so I'll just move down to slide 7. And in slide 7, what we have is, well, first a petition on the left, and I hope everyone here will click on that link and just sign the petition. But then on the right is a support guide with a letter template. And that letter template is if for organizations or caucuses like this one to write a letter of endorsement for the course. And so this is the pitch, this is the ask, is for this caucus, if y'all are able to do so, to, you know, take a look at the course and see if you guys are willing to write a letter of endorsement to Kinsey and to the TEA. And what we'll do is we want to present that at the next general meeting. Now here's the bad news. We were putting a lot of pressure on Kinsey this past week because he was going to finalize the agenda this Friday, and we were asking him put the course on the agenda for June so that you can take the next step in the process. And we've got 1,600 signatures, 70 organizations that have endorsed the course, 3 tribal nations. It has a lot of support, but he's a fairly far right Republican, and he didn't put it on the agenda on Friday, unfortunately. But June 28th, there's going to be a general meeting where anyone from the public can go and speak to the board and present an issue. And so members of the committee, maybe Stephen, I'm not sure if he can go, but members of the Native Studies Committee are going to show up and once again ask for them to move forward. Because they did not put it on the agenda this year, the next step for the course is to have its innovative course status renewed. And so that's going to happen they're going to begin that process in September. But here's the thing, it's going to have to go back to the same board. So we're going to be dealing with the same group of people. Ideally, it'll be a lower stakes process because it's just redoing what's already in place. So they should move forward with it. But because of how tough politics are, they could not renew it. So we still need letters of support, endorsement letters. And the last reason we need endorsement letters is because districts, we have to kind of convince them if it isn't approved by the state, districts have to approve it. It helps to have all these letters of endorsement because it helps to say, hey, the community endorses this course. Maybe the state board, because of politics, they weren't willing to take it all the way, but the Native community supports it. So go ahead and offer it. And so obviously we're going to be trying to encourage all districts to offer the course. So I'll leave it there. I think, if you go to the next slide, I have information about June 28th and how people can register. So if this caucus writes an endorsement letter, we'll present it on June 28th, but it would be even better if someone from the caucus could show up, register, and you can register starting on Monday and actually present the letter yourselves. That would be the most powerful thing. So anyway, that's the whole pitch. Thank you for your time. If folks have any questions, I see Rogelio, you have your hand up. I'm happy to answer them.
Thank you so much, Orlando, and everybody, please go ahead and help me out and cheer for Orlando right now because grace is needed on this kind of work. So yeah, I see a few hands. Thank you so much. So yeah, I first start with the grace, right? I want to make sure that you and Stephen and everybody that has worked on this know that this is crucial. And we may not be actively participating, but we fully support y'all. And we want to make sure that this goes through. If this helps in any way for context, folks, we're going to make this the topic of our next month meeting because what we're seeing right here is the same thing we saw with this idea of diversity on equity and inclusion, right? This idea of CRT, what Republicans like to make the boogeyman, which is really critical race theory, which is, as some of y'all know, it's in college. They believe that us talking about the truth of how this country was started and really the truth of what happened in this country at the beginning, right, before it was called USA, is wrong. Not only that, but they're trying to hide it. They're trying to put it away from us. And they're even trying to call us liars. So I think, thank you so much, Orlando. Thank you, Stephen. And thank you, anybody that has been part of this work. We will make sure that we are there in Austin. I'll make sure I talk to Taylor's no longer here, but Taylor lives in Austin, thank God. And we'll make sure we can figure out something. If folks want to go out there, believe me, I'm down to drive from DFW because they're gonna see us. I'm sorry, folks, but you chose the right caucus. Like, if people want to know about Native Americans, they're going to hear from us because I'm sorry, like we've waited for too long. We've been passive for too long, and it's time for us to take the offensive as alternative. And yes, who do we send the letter to? Well, great question, Stephanie. In fact, we are gonna share the link to y'all so you can sign the petition. The petition is still a little bit passive. You put your name on it, so it adds to it. But the Indigenous Peoples Caucus commits to making sure that we make a toolkit. We are making a toolkit until next meeting. Next meeting, we're going hard on making sure that everybody attending sends an email and a phone call. We will actually have time allocated for it. But the main idea is that we keep applying pressure. Progress takes time, folks. And unfortunately, sometimes when people in the ISD make these decisions, it goes for a few months. But we're gonna make sure that we're reaching out to the right people, particularly those who pretend who they don't know about this. It is actually right now somebody from Lubbock that is part of the, the ISD, the statewide ISD board, I call it, but really the statewide education board, who is preventing this. And we reached out to them and they've said the following, and I quote, "I don't really know about this. I'm still getting to know the job." Then why would you run for the job? So we are going to make sure that they know about this. We're going to make sure that they pass it. Yes, Kenzie. And only that, but we're gonna have an action toolkit. So if folks stay in the Lubbock area, we're gonna reach out to him. We're gonna meet him. Thankfully, we have some experience lobbying. Taylor is not here, but she can actually lead a whole lobbying experience, and we are gonna lobby this person. We are gonna make sure that they hear from us and they pass this, because like I alluded to earlier, we are here for the business of truth telling. We no longer want to tell folks like, hey, put your 5 fingers on a paper and draw a turkey. We're gonna talk about actually what it means to start a country on occupied land. So I'm gonna stop because I know I'm progressive. I'm gonna go ahead and pass it to Mia. Mia, do you have any comments? Please go ahead. And thank you so much for being here.
Yes, thank you so much. The link seems to get an error, Rojo. Send the petition.
Thank you for the petition. Let me find it and send it again.
Yes. A ver what we can do.
I'm trying to track down the link. I believe I can find it.
Okay, great, Christian. Thank you so much.
Start with the link to the letter template is actually a support guide. So it has other stuff that people can do there. And one thing that we prepared is a call and email guide. So we do have a call to action. People can write directly to Kinsey and make a phone call to him as well. And that's in that support guide. But we'd love to work with y'all to figure out more ways to put pressure on him, because we have given him a lot of opportunities. The committee has been very diplomatic with him and I think very patient with him. But what was I going to say? The other piece too is that I know it's hard to pass things at the Texas legislature. But another problem is that the State Board of Ed isn't required to make the social studies or any other curriculum, the standards, inclusive and representative of the state of Texas. And I think they're really going in the other direction to censor and keep things out. And so I think there is conversation to be had about what can be moved at the state level so that the State Board of Ed can be accountable to something and not just, whitewash the curriculum all they want. But yeah, I'll leave it there. And when I get a minute, I'll see if I can find which links are the ones that are not working, the petition?
Orlando, I think the mobilized petition that is up is actually, so you can put a time frame on it. I think the time frame you'll added is gone, it's passed. So I think we need to just extend the time frame so that more folks can add their signature to it.
The one on Action Network.
I can look for it right now because we didn't put a time limit on it. and it may just be a broken link or something, but I'll try to fix it in a second. Yeah, any other questions for me? Anything that I can answer?
I have Rogelio.
Orlando, one last thing. Sorry, Rojo. One
Go
last
ahead,
thing. It would be our absolute pleasure as a representative for the Progressive Caucus to actually help out in any way, shape, or form. Christian's already put it on our Signal chat, and it wouldn't surprise me Clayton's still resting, but starting Monday, we could start talking about it and move forward to start lobbying with you guys for this.
Okay, that's great. And if any representative from this caucus wants to work with us a little bit more closely on strategy, let me know if you want to designate a liaison. Because this has gotten super political, and we do need to think of creative ways to put pressure on Kinsey and just make sure that we're showing up, and even going above him, which is hard because above him is Abbott.
Sadly, we have. Thank you, Orlando. But we will be showing up to Austin. Just know that for a fact that one or two of us will be out there. And we do have Steven as a connection with y'all, but we want to make sure that we're reaching out more because this is an issue that we want to actually embody. Because look, we didn't create a caucus just to pretend we, we didn't create a caucus just to have a little flag. Like, we are a caucus because we're pushing for things. But we will be supporting you full on. So just know that, and we're here. I do want to recognize Rogelio and Lisha. If y'all have any questions, please go ahead and refer them to Orlando's as well.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Rojo. And I got this question for Orlando, and I hope my wife doesn't kill me. She's on this call. Yes. I ran for school board here in McAllen, Texas, last spring, and I was wondering if I could get the PowerPoint that you just showed. That way I could learn more about it. That way, when I do run again for the school board, and hopefully I do get on. Hopefully I do get on. That way I can push it for here, locally.
Please do that. And I'll share the link here in the slide. It should be somewhere in the chat, but I'll share it again. And thank you. I think you actually met my wife, didn't you?
Hi there. We were protesting Abbott in front of the school.
Yeah, because we were in the valley for a while, and Maria Cooley from the Lipan tribe has been very supportive. And so, yeah, but that's a great example of McAllen ISD is the roadblock that they were putting on the course is, well, we want the State Board of Ed to approve it first. But hey, they might not approve it, but it doesn't mean you can offer the course. And so those are the reasons. That's the reason we wanted to take it to the next step, so that local districts didn't minimize the number of excuses that they could put on people. But you might hear that, but they can't offer it. They can offer it as a special topics or innovative course. So keep working on that. And
thank you. And I'm always looking for a fight. I'm a veteran, and us veterans, we love to have a mission to fight for.
Great, thank you. And there's a MAS community, Mexican American Studies, out there and
the Teachers Union.
That's good to be in touch with as well.
Thank you so much, Orlando and Rogelio. I did see another hand up earlier, but I also want to acknowledge that it's 9:11. So I do want to make sure that I adjourn early. Lisha, do you have any comments? Please go ahead.
Thank you, Rojo. Just a quick question. Have we discussed approaching publishers such as like Pearson? And also, how are we, or how are you rather, I say we collectively, like positioning teachers on this matter? Because I mean, teachers like my age, like some of my girlfriends who are teachers, like they don't like the restrictions that are being put on curriculum as well as teachers. But I was just wondering if we had thought about reaching out to publishers or distributors. Anyway, that's my question. Thank you.
No, that's a question. And I can say there's kind of three components that we've been working. One is this organizing side, political side that I've been working a lot on. with Stephen and others. And then there's a pedagogical sort of curriculum development committee. And last week, actually, they just had the 4th annual American Indian Native Studies teacher training. And they just finished that last week. And in the slides, there's a link to that. It's, it already passed, but it's going to happen again next year. I think just, it's always helpful to get word out to teachers, because that is available. It's just hard to get the word out to all the teachers in Texas. What was I going to say? And the third component is kind of research publication. And so there is one of my colleagues, Marisa Munoz out of San Antonio, is working on a curriculum guide, and that's in progress. And so there's a little group of folks that are working on producing some materials that can be published and available for free, and then maybe some that are published for a wider audience. So that there's some work on that. It's still at the beginning stages, but that's part of the project. If you have any ideas, please let me know.
Orlando, I have a quick question for you. Would it be all right if I shared your email or any of your contact info with other caucuses interested in helping out with this?
Definitely. I think the best email to share, just so that a few of us get it, is the Ethnic Studies Network of Texas at Gmail. I don't know if you have that available, but also you can share my email. I don't remember which one I've been using, I think, but you can share my email as well.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you all so much. We are going to share the email so that folks can reach out if they have any questions. But believe me, we're going to continue talking about this because like I mentioned earlier, yeah, we started a caucus, but now there's a platform, there's rules, there's all these things that we want to make sure that we have folks being part of. Lindsay, don't think I forgot about you. So believe me, there's going to be 1 month that you're sharing with us the work you're doing. And if anybody else out here would like to share the work that they are doing or the work that they are, hoping to publish in the future months, reach out to Martin. Martin Science is our events coordinator at the moment. In the future, we can give any more updates on members for the events coordinating team, but he can help you schedule something for the next coming months. Well, we are out of time. We're at 9:15, and I did say we start on time, so I want to end on time. So thank you all so much. The general meeting meets monthly on the 3rd Sunday.
Chair,
Please go ahead, Martin. Tell me.
it's actually only 8:15.
Correct.
I think you said we go till 9, but that's okay.
Yeah, Chair, you said 9:15.
My bad. I am on Easter time, I'll be honest. Okay, we go till technically 8 p.m. CT, which is Central Time. So we try to make these meetings an hour long, but we often go past an hour. We are working on making a tighter schedule for the hour and then allowing folks to just stay if they want to keep chit-chatting. So thank you all so much for the corrections. But yeah, let me go ahead and close this down. That way, if folks would like to stay and maybe chat a little bit longer, they can. But any objections, any comments before I move on? I don't hear any. So our general meetings go every 3rd Sunday of the month. And that's a good one that we like to tell people about because that way you can remember, which means our next general meeting is July. Yes, if you say 20th, you got it. You're looking at your calendar. We are meeting July 20th at 7 p.m. If you would like to come early and chit chat, 6:45, I'll see you here. We'll
July 21st is that Sunday.
Dios mío, thank you so much, Perla. Okay, July 21st. I'm no longer on Eastern time. I'm on Eastern plus Rojos time. But we are meeting on July 21st at 7 p.m. 6:45 for folks that would like to join and maybe chit chat a little bit or get to know the new folks. We are doing a lot of recruitment this month. So if folks would like to help us, we would really appreciate it, particularly for the education efforts of this caucus. As some of you know, and I know I shared it with a few of y'all on the convention, we want to make sure that we're promoting the powwows. We want to have a table at the powwows. If you are a voter register of VDR, I really need you. VDRs, voter deputy register, I need you. We have powwows in San Antonio, Austin, Dallas, Cleburne, Fort Worth, Houston confirmed. So in the next year, we would appreciate you showing up to any of those or any other that you know of, so you can help us register voters, invite them to the caucus, and most importantly, invite them to the platform to make sure that their voice is reflected and their tribal membership is reflected on this.
And we do have a powwow in El Paso.
Thank you, Ms. Ana Perez. When is the powwow? Do you mind saying?
October 5th and 6th.
Fantastic. Yes, I know several VDRs. Good. We are going to have a form for volunteers in the following month, but we're hoping that our next meeting, we can go ahead and share with you all the dates for the upcoming powwows, because we do have 3 booked for this year, and we do have a lot that are coming up next year. We want to have a table at those. We want to make sure we raise certain voters, but most importantly, we're taking their information, right? We're taking their surveys, which means like they tell us the issues they care about, so that in 2 years we can present it on the platform committee.
Okay, and Mr. Chair, in regards to the powwow in Dallas, it is the weekend of Veterans Day at the AT&T Discovery Discovery Plaza. That's where it's always hosted and will always be hosted. So if we want to do, and I am also, of course, a VDR, and if y'all want to become VDR statewide or how anyway, go to the Secretary of State website and go through that training and take that class and go to your particular county and get your certificate. And once you have that certificate in your hands, you can go to any other county and go to the elections department and you can become a VDR in that county. So there's nothing holding you back of becoming a VDR. So we need a lot of VDRs because we need to get out the vote for November. Let's go and register voters. Make sure they go out to vote for November. All right. Sorry, Mr. Chair.
Don't be sorry, you're good. Thank you so much. I love a fiery chat, so please, folks, keep sharing there. I see a lot of comments. Yes, Dallas, it is important. We will have a table, so folks, we'll share with you a little bit more once we have the table registered and everything signed up, so that we can get 2 or 3 volunteers for that. Thank you, Kristen, for sharing your screen so you can share the letter of support. Yo, folks, you'll see this 4,899 signatures. Let's get
So
some more.
is this the corrected link, the one that was broken? Orlando?
I'm not sure if it was broken, but yeah, we have two tools. One is a petition, is for folks so that we can just kind of get people's information, keep them updated. And then this is the call and email tool for whenever we need to really like get attention on Kinsey, which is now. So this is the one that folks can use to call and email him, you know, between now and the 28th.
Okay, thank you.
So this is a good one to use right now. Yes.
Yeah. Hey, Orlando, it's Perla. Just to help you guys out, at 8:09 on the chat, I dropped the link for the letter draft, and it has the instructions in the background on that course. But it says Docs Google, and it's what you emailed me, Orlando. And I put your email in there somewhere too. But I'm looking at the chat and it says 8:09.
Yes, and that has the link to all these different tools and all the different things that you can do. But Perla, thank you so much for that letter. That's what I'm hoping the caucus can put together if y'all have a method to do that.
Yeah, and just background on that, if you guys look at it, it's super easy to draft and make your own voice. And it has all the emails that you can put it on there. I sent it to the chair, the vice chair, the secretary, and then CC'd Orlando as well. So just getting your voice on there and making sure that they know that people all over Texas are waiting on them to get it on the agenda, minimum.
Is this the link that you were speaking about at 8:09 for the draft letter endorsement? Is this the correct one?
Yes, that one has draft letters. Yeah.
Okay.
For both calling for it at your local school district, there's a letter, and then there's a letter for Kinsey and State Board.
Y'all chose the right caucus because we don't just say it, we show up. So thank you so much, Perla. Yeah, go ahead, Orlando.
No, that's good. Thank you so much for making sure you guys are clear on these different documents.
Well, you know, Steven told us about it when he was first presenting it. And ever since, I feel like all of us knew that the caucus was not created to just, you know, say that we're for Indigenous people. We want to be for Indigenous people. So there's something there about the action. And if folks out here I know there's a lot of Chatter One Nation. So it's like, you want to make sure you have more lightning in your hands than thunder in your voice, right? So it's like, we want to put lightning. And I think ultimately is the actions that we do. So thank you so much, Orlando. Thank you, Perla, for sharing. And we'll make sure that we keep sharing this. And not only that, but next month, let's make this a big deal. So we can all go ahead and just like fulfill the letter, fulfill the email. And most importantly, if we can show up before the next meeting, I would appreciate it, folks. But we'll send that on the email. Do we have any other comments before I move on? I don't hear any, so I'm gonna move on. The reminder that general meetings for Indigenous People Caucus are the third Sunday of every month. So I'll see you all when in July?
July 21st.
Got it. Yes, I'll see you on 21st at 7 p.m. Central Time. We will be having a guest speaker and we're going to be focusing on this curriculum. But believe me, there's a lot of other issues. In fact, Taylor's not here to share, but we are working with the ACLU and Texas Civil Rights Project on making sure that if you have a tribal ID, a federally recognized tribal ID, you should be able to vote with it. In Texas, sometimes we hear of cases of people getting rejected from their federal tribal ID with, like, you know, when they want to go vote. So we want to make sure that you are recognized because that's a federally law. So there's a lot of things coming, but we do hope.
Chair,
Please go ahead, Martin.
as I know Cherie also will back me up on this, has both of us are election judges. We only have to go with what's on our list, and we need to have the legislators put that as one of the major IDs to be. So that's another thing we need to do in regards to that federal tribal card. We need to bring that up to the legislators so they can approve it and have it pass, and so we can accept it as a form of ID. Until the legislators approve it, we as the judges and our clerks cannot accept that tribal card until it gets approved by the legislators. And I'm saying that as an election judge, and I know Cherie will back me up on that.
Hey, I want everybody out here to be an election judge or election participant. So thank you, Martin. But yeah, absolutely. Those are photo IDs. Tribal IDs are not only photo IDs, they're like federally recognized IDs. So they do have supremacy over it. Me and Lindsay had a long conversation about this. And I will say that Taylor works for the Texas Civil Rights Project. And we're going to make sure that we're looking into it. And hopefully in 2 months, August, we can present this to you all because we are working on making sure that not only those are federally recognized, but every election judge and every election worker knows that if you have a tribal ID that is federally recognized, you are not only allowed to vote, but you are allowed to use it as, you know, a federally recognized ID. So I do understand that folks have to head out. So I'm gonna go ahead and adjourn the meeting because I am past the time. I am so sorry to everybody. But just a little bite for all of y'all, and please join us on the committees next month. Once we open the committees for folks, we will be advocating for this ID to be not only known but respected federally. So Taylor is gonna help us with a lobby day visit, but the Indigenous Peoples Caucus is committed to meeting every year so that you have an opportunity to not only meet the executive team, but be actively participating for Indigenous and Native American folks in Texas. So I am moving now to adjourn, and I am gonna open it real quick for folks to have any burning messaging on questions to share. But I will be moving to adjourn this meeting unless there is any folks that would like to share right now, any burning comments or anything that you would like to share with everybody that cannot be shared on the chat, but you have to say it out loud. This is your time. Anybody? Going once. All right. With that, I move to adjourn this meeting at 8:29 p.m. Central Time. Thank you so much.
I second.
Go ahead, Mia.
I second.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you.
actually, we don't need a second on that.
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to say.
The
It's
second.
okay,
Thank
yeah.
you.
We still care for you.
We had a lot to cover today, and to be honest, we are trying to do a better job. Yo, if you've been here since the beginning, you know we go for a long time talking about the issues. But believe me, we're doing a better job pulling back. So thank you all so much for your extra 30 minutes that you gave us for this meeting. If you have any other questions or comments, please feel free to share them on the chat or stick around. We are gonna go ahead and stop the recording now so we can go ahead and post it for folks that couldn't attend. We did write